Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. I'm Avery. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I'll just be talking about my labor and delivery story. What a crazy story. Emerson just woke up from her nap, so she will be in and out of this video probably. Come here. Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, Mama's hand is cold. But she will be in and out. When she normally wakes up, she's very chill. Yeah, she's very chill. To start off, it was Friday, August 9th. And my due date was August 16th. So I was 39 weeks that day. And I had my 39-week appointment. And I had been 3 centimeters dilated since 36 weeks. So I was expecting her to come a lot earlier than she did, but she still came early. I had been begging for a membrane sweep or a stretch and sweep. And finally at my 39-week appointment, I got it. And it definitely was not as uncomfortable as people made it seem to me, but I definitely have a high pain tolerance, but that's just my opinion. I went home and they said grape juice is supposed to help, like if you're having cramps, it makes you more crampier. So I chugged a whole, whatever this is, a whole thing of grape juice. And my cramps were definitely strong, but they stopped over time. I finally just laid down in bed and I want to say it was like 9 or 10 o'clock and I was just passed out. I was so tired and exhausted. And that night, I would just sit up in the middle of the night and just stare up at the ceiling. I don't know why, I just did it. And every single night it would normally happen. I would just wake up at random times, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m. I would just stare at the ceiling for a little bit till I went back to sleep. That night I woke up at around 3 and stared up at the ceiling and everything was fine. And then I can't even remember how time went so fast, but all of a sudden it was 3:40 and I felt like I just peed myself. And I kid you not, I went to the hospital. Embarrassing, yes, but I went to the hospital 4 times for false labor. I thought my water was breaking at all points in time. My boss, I bet she was so upset with me. I thought my mucus plug came out, which I think it did, but that doesn't really matter. I thought my water broke. I was just peeing myself. Embarrassing. Went home every single time. But this time I really thought my water broke. And they say when your water breaks, you know. So I just had a weird feeling. So I went to the bathroom and I kept sort of leaking, but not really. It was just that one gush and that was it. So I was in the bathroom and I was like, I think my water just broke. So I went back and told Noah, I said, honey, I think my water just broke. I don't really know. He goes, okay, let's tell my mom. And we go into his parents' room and he goes, Mom, I think Avery's water just broke. And she goes, that's okay. Put down a towel and we'll look in the morning. I think she was just super out of it. I thought it was so funny. So I went back to the bedroom and I put my robe on and I was like, I'm going to jump in the shower just in case this is labor. I want to be clean before. So I got my robe on and immediately my contractions started. Hi. You got your lotion? Do you have your lotion? Immediately my contractions started. I got in the shower and I made Noah sit on the toilet next to me and time my contractions. And I want to say they were 3 minutes apart. lasting like 45 seconds, and they were really intense. Let me tell you, laboring in the shower was so nice, having the water fall on your back. Awesome. There were a couple contractions when I literally had to just sit. Oh, okay. I had to just sit on the floor of the shower and just rock because I had really bad back labor, so it was really painful for me. My shower took, I want to say, an hour to an hour and a half. Getting in the shower, washing my hair, getting out with all my contractions, doing my skincare routine, having contractions. It was a lot. So I labored at home for, I want to say 2 to 2.5 hours. By the time I had gotten done, it was 5 or so. And I was sitting on the ball, like rubbing my stomach. Noah was helping me. And I was finally like, when do I go to the hospital? Like, my contractions have been under 3 minutes apart since they've started. At that point, it was just deciding when we wanted to go. What's the plan? I called the hospital and I told them that I think my water broke, and I asked them what I should do. And basically they told me that they can't give me any medical advice over the phone, which that's fine. So we went in. Our hospital, we went to Des Moines Methodist. It's only, I want to say, a 10 to 12 minute drive from Noah's house, and it's basically a straight shot. So it wasn't bad, but laboring in the car was definitely difficult because those bumps on the back roads, and it was very difficult for Noah to rub my back. So it was a task. But finally we got there. We got to a triage room. I didn't even record half of this stuff because it happened so fast. So we were in triage and they did a swab to see if your amniotic fluid was dripping, and it was. And Noah started crying and it was so cute. I was scared. I was in pain, but I survived. I also figured that I was making a lot of noises, moving around a lot during contractions. So I figured out that just laying down and calming down and taking deep breaths and just pacing myself helped so much for the pushing part because I wasn't so exhausted. That's now. So after they told us that, I want to say it was 5:40, 6 o'clock, 6:15. I really don't know. Time just went so fast. I had to put on a gown and I went pee. Going pee during a contraction, so horrible. My pee, like, it was just weird. It was so weird, so painful. Yeah? So painful. Yes, you were painful. After I went to the bathroom, we walked to the room. I was 3 centimeters. I was 3 centimeters in triage, and I want to say 80% effaced. For 3 weeks, from 36 weeks to 39, I was 3 centimeters dilated and 50 to 40% effaced. I can't remember. But when we first got to triage, I was 3 centimeters and 80% effaced. So, like I said, we were walking across the hall because there was no more room in the regular delivery wing. So I had to go to the C-section wing. And I walked there. I was in so much pain. I didn't understand why I wasn't dilating. They got me into a bed, and I was getting a new nurse at that point in time because I was switching from triage to the C-section wing. The nurse wanted to check me, know how I feel, and I was about to ask for an epidural when she said, "Honey." I said, "Yes." She said, "How far dilated were you in triage?" I said, 3 centimeters. And when they stick their fingers up there to check your dilation, you get a contraction. All her fingers were up there and she was talking to me. I was contracting and I was in so much pain. But she said, honey, you're 7 centimeters dilated. This baby is about to come. And I said, hold up, wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. Where's my epidural? Do I get an epidural? She said, honey, it is way too late for an epidural. You cannot have an epidural. You will be in so much pain. Your contractions are so painful right now. Imagine sitting through getting a needle in your back. At that point, I wanted to start crying because I wanted to have like an awesome experience having a baby. I didn't know if this was going to be my first and my last, so I just wanted to have a peaceful experience. And at that point, she told me I couldn't get one, so I was very heartbroken. But I got through it, like a couple tears, because I was scared. It was mostly tears of like horror. But Noah was there. My mom had just gotten there. My like a little brother, Kason, was there. My sister was there. My dad was there. It was all good. My mom and Noah's mom and my sister were the only ones in the room, along with Noah, of course. And it was a small room because it wasn't the regular rooms, but it worked. It was a tight squeeze, but it worked. I was in a lot of pain. The pro tip: focus on something while you're contracting. It will be so much easier. You'll get through the contractions so much faster. At Methodist, they have a helicopter pad. My room was like direct angle to it, so I just stared at the helicopter bringing someone in, and that got me through all my contractions. While I was contracting, I want to say we got to my room at 6:30, and by this time it was about 7:30, and I'd been contracting for an hour, and the time went by so fast. And finally, she checked me again, and I was 9 centimeters dilated and 99% effaced. And she said, hold the baby in because the doctor's not here yet. And I said, okay, I'll try. While I was contracting, there was like, I had her at 8:15. So 45 minutes I had to hold my pushes, and that was so hard. So hard. It was a very difficult task. Finally, at like 8 or 8:07, that's when they rushed everyone in the room. There was quite a bit of people. It was very chaotic, but the doctor got there. He was awesome. I didn't know who he was, but that's okay. I began pushing. I pushed from, I want to say 8:07 to 8:15. I want to say I pushed 5 or so times. They weren't that painful. Going through labor with no medication, no epidural, it's horrible in the moment, but when you look back on it, it was the best moment of my life. I couldn't have asked for a better labor or delivery or nurses or anything. But what no one tells you about is the moments right after labor. So my next video will definitely be about what people don't tell you about postpartum. I hope you enjoyed my labor and delivery story. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Yes! Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.